Hey Genderqueer gang, this is Kai Logan, and I have a confession to make to you all. Um, I don't know if I've told you this before, um, but I'm a radical feminist. There, I said it. It's out. Everybody knows. I'm a radical feminist. Oh, God, I'm just so glad I was able to admit this to you, and hopefully you won't judge me and hate me for it. I know that, being a feminist is a dirty word, and really, most feminists are just, angry white women complaining about how men oppress them when that's not actually true at all because our society is equal now. And they're just bitching and moaning and whining, and really they're doing that because they don't want to work very hard. Um, and so I know I should be embarrassed to be a radical feminist, but to be honest with you, I'm actually pretty fucking proud. Um, and I really want to maybe take this as an opportunity, especially because I watched a video to the contrary, which I found was quite shocking, and um, went ahead and mirrored this really damaging heteronormative rhetoric about feminists. So I really want to take this as an opportunity to disabuse you of the idea that feminists are just women whining about situations that don't exist, or that feminists are just ugly women, um, or feminist, or this or that. I don't know what the hell you think, but I really want to realign your thought regarding this topic. And so I'm just going to read a little definition of what radical feminism is um, for you, and then I'm going to go into some exposition around that. So, radical feminism is the belief that oppression, not just women's oppression, oppression is caused by the patriarchy, which is a system of male authority that is especially manifested in sexuality, personal relationships, and the family, but that spills over into the rest of the male-dominated world. Radical feminism holds that the personal is political and does not want women or any other marginalized person to be treated as the same as men, but for their differences to be acknowledged and at the same time both equally valued. Radical feminism, and this is my favorite part of being a radical feminist, calls for revolution instead of reform, and wants to dismantle repressive institutions instead of reworking them to try to fix them. Okay, so I understand that was, quite a mouthful. So just let me break it down for you a little bit. I'm eating blackberries. I'm fucking starving. Mmm. Mmm. Okay. Oh, so good. Mmm. Thank you for bearing with me. I've watched a few videos. I've paid special attention to the videos on this channel this week. And I've heard some misconceptions about feminism and feminists, and I've also heard slanderous remarks made in complete ignorance, and I don't feel shy calling them out as very ignorant and very harmful remarks about feminists and the people that hold those ideologies. So first of all, feminism in its current, most contemporary form, and the kind of feminism that I ascribe to, because there are many different kinds, but this revolutionary, radical feminism that's coming up now seeks to end oppression for all people, not just women. We live in a society, and this is all over the world, and we're very steeped in it in America, where it's very much dominated by men, and those men are typically white, and they typically are middle upper class, right? Those are the people that set the rules, regulations, and ideals in our society. Media mirrors them, and they become spread out so that everyone is kind of prescribing to these rules and these desires of this very small group of people. And that therefore plays out in society, and it works to oppress people that are women, people that are trans or gender deviant, people of color, people who speak different languages, people who have different body capabilities, people who are very old or who are very young, right? And so radical feminism looks at those things and tries to dismantle systems and repressive institutions and tries to retool them in some cases so that they're not oppressive towards those people, not just women. And so when I hear somebody saying, feminists are just angry women and they need to stop whining because they're not working hard enough to get what they want, that completely denies the narratives and the struggles of people in this society that are marginalized and people in this society that are working to end that oppression. And I think that it's utter fucking bullshit. And now this is a trans person that is saying this. Um, and so I just really wanted to put it out there. I wanted to come out to you guys as a radical feminist. Um, Now, the specific question on this topic asked, what do we think about the um, strand of feminism that treats men and women differently? And I thought about that, and I did some reading. Um, and I think that, for people that are in the binary who identify as men and women, and there's those of us who don't, but for people that are in it, I think that it would be a disservice to not value the differences because there are differences physically, sometimes biologically, and clearly many differences socially built into socialization and conditioning that happen for people that are male identified or that are women or female identified, and I think that it's important to have structures that meet people's needs, and so people that identify as women have sometimes, not always, but sometimes have special needs built around that identity, whether it be a physical identity or mental identity or however that manifests for them. And the same goes for male-bodied or male-identified people. And so I think it's important to respect that, but also to offer equality. And so that is, I'm speaking from my point of, feminist view regarding that. Um, so, yeah, I guess that's it, for the way that I feel about this. And, you know, what do I know? I've only studied this, and I've only written about it, and I've only read about it and discussed it, and won awards for papers that I've written about it. And so, maybe I don't fucking know anything about feminism, or systems of oppression at all, and maybe I'm just whining about it. See you next week.